What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. Welcome to our training on writing compelling personal statements. It's going to be a one-on-one guide from nothing to getting your first draft completed for your personal statements. If it's our very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony. I'm actually a college admissions advisor, helping students with the college admissions process for the last 16 years now. Was a former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA director, co-founder of a charter high school, former TikTok college admissions partner as well too. I've been doing college admissions for the last 16 years, and our kids literally go everywhere. If you guys have seen our success stories, feel free to go to egelloC.com/success stories, and you'll see our students literally end up everywhere. So our kids went to the Ivies this past year. Our students went to top private schools, top out-of-state schools, top state schools, everything in between as well too. So we may know a thing or two about the application process itself. And here we kind of give you kind of what we teach our families so you guys can replicate the same with you guys, right? So the topic today is writing a personal statement. So again, like I mentioned, the preface for the frame for this training is like, I'm about to start writing soon. What should I do? How should I think about it to make sure we have the best personal statement at the end of the day? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen really. Like, we are going live for folks who are here with me on Zoom. If you guys can see my screen, can you drop a quick little yes in the chat if you guys can see that, so I can make sure I am either sharing the right screen or things are looking good. Awesome, fantastic, fantastic. Cool. So let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So first off, what are personal statements, right? What are personal statements is kind of the first one for the really 101, right? So basically, these are the main college essay, right? I'm going to put it in quotes right now. Main college essay of the common application, right? So what's the common application? What is the next one? What is the common application? Next question. This is the common application is used to apply to thousands of colleges in the US, right? So if you go to the Common App, I think commonapp.org as well too, or Common Application.org, just Google Common App on Google, it'll pop up. It's an application, right? It's an application that you will send, and it'll send it to a bunch of schools. So how it works is in the Common Application, right? There's gonna be different sections under it. There's gonna be the personal information section. There's going to be the academic sections. There's going to be the activities, awards section. And there's going to be the personal statement, which we're going to talk about today, right? As well, too. And then today, right? And then there's also going to be supplements, right? Per college. So how this works is that when you guys do the common application, all this is the same information that's used to send to every school that you are applying to, right? So you're applying to 10 schools via common application. This first four sections, right? X sections is all get sent together. What's different is this supplement, right? Each school may have none. Schools might have one, two, three. I think Stanford, USC has like nine, right? Well, they have a lot. So the idea is each school has a different set number of supplements. That, for example, the examples here is like the why us? Why do you want to go to our school? Another example is why major? Why do you want to study this at our school? And these types of questions that you'll see. But, right, what we're going to focus on today is the personal statement, right? That's going to be the focus for today's session, right? So let's go start. So now that we understand this is what the topic is going to be, let's dive in. So the first step we do, right? So again, keep in mind, right? Keep FYI, right? The common application will open on August 1st, right, of the year. So for any of our 2026 families, the common application will open August 1st. However, however, you can go create an account right now, right? Account right now. You don't have to wait till August 1st. You can enter your information in, especially your personal information is probably not going to change between now and then. Your academics so far from ninth grade to now is not going to change too much anymore, right? The things that you did, the blurbs may change, by the way, spoilers, the blurbs might change, but you can start adding things in there as well too, right? And spoilers again, the personal statement prompts are already released, right? So the 2026, right? The 2025, 2026 Common Application the personal statement prompts, right, are already released as well too, which means you can start writing them. That's the whole takeaway of them being early. So the app will open on August 1st, the new one, but you can start it earlier and get most things done, kind of see stuff ahead of time. Don't wait till August 1st to officially do it. Do it now after this call, not right now during the call, but after this call this weekend. Go ahead and create an account. It's free, doesn't cost you anything as well too. You're gonna create an account over here. Okay, so that's number one. So the first thing is you can start on this early is the biggest thing. Okay, so I'm gonna follow. By the way, for those who are in, I know I look at the listening. We have over 124 people here. Shout out to everyone who's here live. So a lot of our coaching families are here. A lot of stuff I'm gonna reviewing today is based on our Kickstart workbook. So this is one of the events that we throw for our rising seniors every single year. It's the event to help our students go from nothing to their first drafts completed. So I'll be using elements from this workbook. This workbook we give to our students once they sign up for the event. If you guys are interested, it's a pretty cool event. We just hosted one this past weekend. We had 70 students. We had 70 students attend. They all came in with nothing but like a blank Google Doc, and they all left with their first drafts personal statements completed as well too. So how did they do that? I'm going to teach you guys in the next maybe 20-30 minutes as well too. All right, so the first thing you see here is the word brainstorming, right? So out of the brainstorming stage, right? So first off, right, let's do step zero. Step zero, right? Do not look at the prompts. Right, this is the one thing a lot of people make a mistake on. They go straight to the questions that the even though the prompts are ready, don't look at it yet. Right, people go straight to the prompts and try to find, oh, that one I can talk about this, or that one I can talk about that. What story could I use now? You're doing it the wrong way, right? You're trying to, again, give the answer to the reader. The readers don't care about it. The readers care about you. So you want to start with you first and then find something that matches you. So our first tip, by the way, do not look at the prompts. It's kind of our first recommendation for students, right? Once you don't look at the prompts, the real step number one is you want to identify your activities, experiences, and identities that defined you in high school, right? What this means is that in high school, you probably did a bunch of activities, right? Activities, for example, you probably did clubs at your school. You probably did sports at your school. Maybe you took a class, right? Class that you did as well too. Maybe you did, what else do you do? Maybe a volunteering thing, maybe a leadership thing that you remembered as well too. That's something that you did, right? Experiences, right? Think of this as like life events. What life events did you go through as well too? Maybe it's like a family thing, right? Something happened in the family. You remember that? Maybe it's like a turning of the page, right? Of like, hey, something, a new chapter in your book, new chapter in your book of life as well too, right? Something happened, something like life altering, right? Altering as well too. Something that's like so big, like wow, I cannot forget that ever as well, right? And last one, not events, right? And last one is gonna be identities, right? Identities, right? Basically, what identities do you belong to as well, too, right? So some of it's like for me growing up, I grew up as an immigrant family, right? I grew up immigrant family myself as well, too. As well. So and kind of other identities, right? I'm Asian, right? So I'll take boom, identities there as well, too. Other identities that I belong to, I can share in here if it matters a big thing for me. So these are kind of examples of that. So first thing you do is you do this, right? You kind of just brain dump all these activities down on paper so you kind of know what it is that you did, right? And here's the key. Here's the key here. The tip here is do all of this in 10 minutes, right? If it doesn't come to you in under 10 minutes, it's not that important. Say it one more time. Right? And by the way, tip number two, right? Students do this alone. Students do this alone without parents, right? Tip number one, do this. Tip number two, right? The answer, students should do this alone, right? is the thing is if it doesn't come up right away, it's probably there, but it's not that important to you. Because what I'm trying to do now too, I'm trying to start to filter. I'm trying to filter things in your life that's very important to you, right? Next thing is you shouldn't do your parents, because parents, oh yeah, you did this. Oh yeah, because parents, you have a great memory. Kids do not have a good memory nowadays, right? So, but if they didn't think about that, here's another way to think about it. It wasn't that important to them, right? My parents told me a lot of things growing up that was important to them. I didn't view it that way. Me going a little older, I see why they said what they said, but in the moment, that wasn't important to me at that time, right? So again, do this without the parents, right? So that's the first step, is to identify all this, right? Now, once you have a list of activities, identities, and experiences, step number two is what we want to do is we want to identify 4 to 5 activities, experience, identities, right? That made you who you are today. Who you are today, right? So keep in mind, right? Let's say, for example, I talked about being part of leadership. That's one of the clubs at my school, leadership as well, too, right? So then what I would think about is, did this make me into the person I am today? Another way to ask that question is, what if I never did this? What if I never did X, right? How different would my life be, right? Think about this way, guys. So this morning, hopefully you guys ate breakfast. If not, hopefully you ate lunch. And for those of you guys who skip most meals, hopefully you ate dinner. Hopefully you're eating something, right? But would you agree that if you ate something else, life wouldn't change too much, right? Life wouldn't be too different, because you probably different things, but for the most part, it'll probably be the same as well, too. Nothing drastic will change. So that's something you did, because keep in mind, everything we do has made us who we are. Think of it that way. Everything you've done in life has made you who you are today. However, some things matter more. Some things make you more than the normal things, right? So I think that's the big thing here. Hey, maybe leadership, it was important, but again, if I didn't do it, I'd be probably the same person, not something super different, right? But what if you talk about soccer? Oh man, if I never kicked the soccer ball, my life, I'd be so different. I'd be way more shy and way more of this and blah 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 as well. And that's how ooh, that's gonna be a big one. So what I tell students to do, identify what is your first one, right? What's the first? Right? And then that's first one. Then what's the second thing? What's the third thing? Right? What's the fourth thing? Fourth thing as well. So if you have another one, you can do fifth thing as well. But the idea is you're identifying, right, these things, these someone asked a question, what's EIA? Activities, experience, identities, right here. Activities, experiences, identities, right? That made you who you are today, right? Is the key. Underline it underline for those in the back, right? Boom, right? That make you who you are today, and put in order. This one made me the most of who I am. The other ones did not as much. Cool. And you go down the order and you'll find out there's usually, like, again, 4 to 5 things total. The rest of it made a role, but it's not as big as these 4, right? So you will say, oh man, if I didn't do number 1, I'd be a different person altogether, right? From this, then I usually would have, so that's step number 2, by the way. So you identify these things as well too. Then step number 3, right? It's called story time, right? Step 3 for us is called story time. What step number 3 is that each of these things that you mentioned, right? So each topic you picked, right? You picked for a reason, right? So there's probably a highlight, right? Probably a highlight, there's probably a low light. There's probably a significant event, right? There's probably something that's like you cannot forget. The memory you cannot for memory. You cannot forget. And the reason why is this is, as humans, we think of everything in stories, right? Think about this. If you want to, entertain yourself or not, right? If I told you right now, think of an elephant, right? And now in your brain, you're thinking of an elephant as well, too, right? If I told you guys, think about one of your happiest moments when you were in fifth grade, when you were 10 years old? What was one of your favorite memories when you were 10 years old? Right now, all of us, we're visualizing something that made us happy when we were 10 years old. If I told you guys, think about what do you think when you hear the word family? And all of you are, and it's a memory. It's like a specific memory. It's not one thing. It's like a memory of something, whatever, when you hear that word, right? So that's how our brain works. Our brain associates things to like videos, right? Memories as well too. So the idea is we think of in stories. So what I tell our students, now that you have each thing, let's say example, right? So let's do example soccer, right? It's my number one thing, right? Then I'm like, what's the story? When I said soccer, when I picked soccer, that was probably a story I thought of when I said the word stalker. So I said soccer, not stalker, right? Soccer, right? Then the task is going to be write the story in 10 bullets or less, right? Meaning this, then that's right, then three, then four, then five, then six, then seven, and eight, then nine, then 10 or less, right? Each one really short, right? Not a long sentence, short. Another way to say this is tell me the whole thing in 30 seconds. Right. And you tell me, boom, this happened. The reason why is as humans, we love to tell stories. We like to expand it really, 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 really big. But the trick is, this is jumping ahead again. This is not the main purpose of the personal statement. Most people think the personal statement is a big story. That's 100% wrong, right? You do not want to tell a big story, right? This should only be 30% of your prompts. So with the personal statement, 650 words, right? It should be what, around 200-ish words on your story. That's it. Which is like a page, like listen, a page of words, right? As well too. The rest is something else we'll talk about in a little bit. But here, bullet points and stories. So you want to tell the stories of each of these. Story, 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 story. Each of these has a story to it as well too. Once you have the story, right? Then we move on to step number 4. Step number 4 is gonna be dig deep. This is a quote Coach Art on our team. He's our head of coaching, and one of his famous phrases to our students, right? Dig deep, right? Dig deep, meaning why did you pick this story? It's the endless, I call it the endless why ladder, right? Ladder as well too. Meaning a student tells me something, right? So student says something, right? Says something, right? Then me, I'd ask them why, right? Then the student says something else. Then I ask them, why? And then we keep doing this, and we keep going why. We keep going why until you go this until the reason is no longer the story, right? And the reason is about who the student is. That's how I know we went wide deep enough as well too, because it's no longer about the story. It's no longer about soccer, for example, right? But it's about something deeper than soccer. So that's gonna be the big key of these problems. Again, most people think, oh, it's just like talk about my soccer story, how awesome I was. No, no, no. How many other kids are gonna talk about soccer? So many, right? So what makes you different is not the soccer, it's gonna be the who are you behind the soccer. That's gonna be the key here. This is what dig deep means as well. Okay, so that's gonna be the biggest thing over here. There. Okay, so that's that. And once you have dig deep, right? Once you have a dig deep for each of the items, now going back to the original prompt, right? Now that we have dig deep, last step is now step 5. Then now we pick the prompts as well, right? Now we pick the prompt after all that. People think, oh, I saw the prompt and I drew it. No, 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 no. We want to make sure, and the reason why this works so well is there are things that we want the reader to know, aka boom. We are things that we want the reader to know. Number 2, right? There's a specific story I want them to understand. Boom, that's done. There's things I want them to know about who I am. Boom, that's dig deep. But if you start the other way around, you usually think of surface level stuff. You never go deep, right? As well, too. Like, oh, that's a good problem about my identity. Oh, I'm this. Let me talk about that, right? And that might not be the true core of who you are. This way, we kind of force the real answer to come out for the real. And now that you know what you want to talk about, we can go back and we call us assign the questions to them, right? And actually, we actually tell teach our students a little tip on how to do this. But I'm gonna skip the tips for you guys, and if you guys want to go to a Kickstart, you'll get the tips there. But right here are the prompts, right? Here are the prompts of the Common Apps, right? So there are 7 prompts you can pick from as well too, and you only need to pick one. It's one prompt, 650 words as well too. So you get to use that. And again, hopefully, if you're doing this live, right, don't read the questions first, right? Start earlier. You should by now you should know what topics you want to talk about. You should know the story. You should know the dig deep. Now you have to pick the prompt, right? And from here, actually, I think I missed a step. Let's just do 4.5. Step 4.5. It fits here nicely, right? 4.5 is pick the top prompt, right? Pop topic as well too. The top is defined. Top is makes the most impactful topic that made you who you are today. Meaning these are the 4 things that we identified that made us who we are. But which 3 is probably more than the 4th one? Get that rid of that. Number 4. Which 2 is more important? Get rid of that. And which one, by process of elimination, you'll end up with one thing that's probably who you are at the core. The most important thing that you have done literally in high school. It's probably an activity, identity, or a identity, activity, experience, or identity that made you who you are today. And that's what you want to make sure you focus on for the colleges, right? So now, right, you pick that one thing, right? Pick that one thing. Now you go and pick the prompt, because now that you have, right? Because we have the topic, we have the story, we have the dig deep or the why as well too. We have the whole prompt done. Now you go through these questions and you see which prompt allows me to talk about my topic, story, dig deep. That's it. People make it more complicated it needs to be. That's literally it. So I go through each of these. There's no good. Actually, I lied. There is one that we say avoid, right? We avoid, right? Pro tip. Pro tip. We recommend avoiding prompt number 7. This is prompt number 7. Prompt number 7 says share an essay on a topic of your choice. How do I read that, right? How do you know you did it right? Or how do I know it's good or not? It's too hard. It's too like objective, too subjective as well too, right? It's hard to know if I did it right or not. So that's a really, really hard prompt. If you guys knows, if you think about it, right? If I give you like, hey, do you want to do A or B? It's an easy choice. But if I say, hey, what do you want to do? It's really hard. It's like, what do you want to eat? You probably hear that during dinners, right? Or like whatever. Hey, what do you want to eat? I don't know, right? But if you say you want to eat here or here, it's much easier. Oh, I want to go here. Given choices, right? So this one, number 7, is too broad. It's too broad to get right. That's why we recommend students pick between 1 through 6. And if you read the prompts here, they're so broad. All 6 prompts are so broad that you can literally use any topic you can think of. I guarantee you can use one of the 6 and be able to answer it as well too, right? So for example, number 1 is some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent so meaningful their app will be incomplete. Like if it sounds like, please share your story. Number 2, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to success. Recount time when you set a challenge, setback, or failure, how to affect you, what you learn from the experience. Number 3, reflect on the time you questioned or challenged a belief or idea, what prompted your thinking, what was the outcome. Number 4, reflect on someone that has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? Number 5, discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth. and a new understanding of yourself or others. Number 6, describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging it makes you lose track of time. Why does it captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you learn more? Any topic you literally can think of will fit under one of these 6 topics because they're so broad as well. To you could easily find one of the 6 that works, right? So that is how you actually pick the prompts. Okay, so now that we have the pick the prompts, right? So let me add well, step one. Well, step. Let's do step 6. Right. So let me do some additional tips and strategies. Some additional tips and strategies for you guys. Right. So when it comes to writing this, right, first draft, treat your first draft as a messy draft, right? Look at we even call it the messy draft as well too. The reason why is students, right, feel it has to be perfect. No, it's never perfect. The first thing you do anything is never perfect, is never right. But we need to get your ideas down on paper. If you're gonna get help and getting this edited, I can't know what you're thinking in your head unless you tell me what you're thinking in your head yourself. So the first draft, we call it a messy draft. What you want to do is you want to expand on your story bigger. You want to expand on your dig deep, right? The why, right? Is what it is, right? And you want to answer the questions in the prompt. Those are the 3 things you want to make sure you do in the first one. And you want to hit the first draft over 1,000 words. Whoa, that's a lot. It's actually not a lot. It's actually pretty simple if you pick the right topic as well too. It's very easy to talk about yourself, is the thing, right? So that's the big thing. You want to spend as many words. The reason why is that later on when we cut it down, is much easier to cut than it is to add. So I rather add it all at the beginning, and all we do the next few months is cut to get back to get down to that 650 words that we're looking for, is the key over here. Okay, so that's the first one. Treat your first draft as a messy draft. The next thing to keep in mind, you do not need to write an essay. What that means, I used the quotes earlier, right? Meaning no need for a hook, no need for a hook, no need for intro paragraph, no need for conclusion as well too, right? Unless you need the words. So, and then if you need the words, I'll ask like, why was it hard to figure out things? Because with this, right? They're not looking for a writing sample. I'm not judging your writing skills based on this. I just want to learn who you are is the key. So you want to focus more on who you are there, which again, the body, the story, the dig deep part of who you are yourself. That's gonna be the key as well. Okay. And then one more thing, one more tip. What about the other essays, right? What about the other topics? Right. So last tip for you guys, you see how when I did this, I had you guys pick not one thing that you thought was really big. I had you pick multiple, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That was really big. So what you want to do is, let's say I talk about soccer in this, and I said number 2, I talked about math, right? Math tutor. This is actually it's about too, math tutor, right? In that case, let's say soccer becomes my personal statement, then guess what I'm going to use the math tutor prompt for, right? You want to, right? What about other topics? You use the other topics as the base for your supplements, right? In your supplements, they're going to ask you similar questions about learning who you are. Again, no need to guess. No need to do anything. We know what we want to say anyways. Use this. Let's say, and so let's say they ask, what's your favorite subject? Oh, maybe math. I could use that prompt and talk about that a lot too. So you're going to recycle a bunch of your prompts for the supplements themselves. And that's going to be the key of this as well. Okay. One last actually bonus topic for you, bonus tip as well too. There's something called the Whiteout test, because this is what, if you guys are applying to personal statement schools, you guys are applying to private schools, they will probably have supplements. There's something called a Whiteout test you got to make sure you do, right? So the Whiteout test is basically if you white out the name of the college in your response, would it still make sense for any other school? For example, right? I want to go to Harvard because it's a great school. They have amazing professors and a beautiful campus. All right. Whiteout test means I take this, I'm going to white out the name of the school. I want to go to blank because it's a great school. They have amazing professors and a beautiful campus. What about I say I want to go to Yale because it's a great school. They have amazing professors and a beautiful campus. Does that make sense? It could, right? I want to go to UCLA because it's a great school, amazing professor, beautiful campus. That makes sense too. So if it makes sense, this is an example of a bad, right? Bad why us prompt as well, because why us needs to be solely used for that school only. Later on, when students try to copy paste stuff, this is the one prompt you should not copy paste anything. You should start from scratch from every why us, because every school is different. The other prompts you can copy and paste, recycle, we call recycling, but this one is the one you should probably start from scratch every single time, because if you can copy paste, oh, I want to go to this and that, right? Then it's a very generic essay. It's not going to do good. Little pro tip as well too that we went to a training for. A lot of schools are starting to go straight to this question first, because if you can't answer this question, why would they need to read the rest of your app? Think about it, right? If you can't answer why you want to go to a school, why is it worth reading the rest of the application for? So that's a little thing that we learned at a recent conference that we went to, is that you do want to make sure if the school offers ask a why us, you nail that question there. Okay. That is the training for today. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'll stick around, answer a few questions for you guys as well too. All right. Someone asked here, can you re-explain? Oops. The question is, can you re-explain the 200 words part as well? Yes. So the 200 words is referring to, we call it our 30-70 ratio, right? Where is it? Here, the 37 ratio. So basically, the 30-70 ratio is basically 30% of your prompt should be about the story, right? What you want to talk about. 70% of your prompt should be about why, how, and who, right? Why did you do what you did? How has it made you who you are? Who have you become as a result? Those are the last three things are the most important things to get right in this process here, okay? Most people tend to spend a lot of time on the story. That's not what I care too much about, right? Your story might be cool to you, kind of okay, right? So it's okay. So I think that's gonna be the big thing to keep in mind, is that you want to focus more on the second half rather than this first half is the key there. Okay, cool, perfect. That's pretty much it for this training here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, go ahead and let us know. If not, I'll see you guys on the next training.